Midlife is not a crisis, it's a recalibration. Let's begin by letting this moment meet you where you are. You don't need to label this season of your life. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to decide whether it's good or bad yet. Just arrive. Notice the pace of your breath. Notice the quiet intelligence of your body, how it knows when to pause even when your mind keeps reaching for answers. You are allowed to be here without urgency. This is not a conversation about fixing midlife. It's not about reinventing yourself overnight. It's not about becoming someone new to prove you're still relevant, vibrant, or alive. It's about listening. Because midlife is not asking you to panic. It's asking you to pay attention. So many women reach midlife carrying a quiet sense of disorientation. Not because everything is wrong, but because what used to work doesn't anymore. The motivation that once fueled you feels thin. The roles you played so well feel heavier now. The tolerance you once had for misalignment is suddenly gone, and it can be unsettling. Culturally, midlife has been framed as something to fear: a loss of youth, a decline, a crisis that needs to be managed or masked. So when things begin to shift internally, many women assume something is wrong with them. They wonder why they feel restless, why old goals no longer inspire them, why they're questioning things they once accepted without thought. But what if discomfort isn't failure? What if it's information? Midlife doesn't break you open to punish you. It opens you up to recalibrate. And recalibration can feel unfamiliar, especially when you've spent most of your life being capable, dependable, and externally oriented. This is the season where autopilot shuts off. And without autopilot, you're asked to choose more consciously. Here's the reframe that changes everything. Midlife is not a crisis of identity. It's a refinement of truth. It's the point where your inner compass becomes louder than external expectations. You begin to feel deeply what no longer fits, not because you're failing, but because you've grown. Midlife asks different questions than earlier seasons. Not what can I achieve, but what actually matters now. Not how much can I handle, but what am I no longer willing to carry? Not who do they need me to be, but who am I when I stop pretending? This is not a breakdown. It's a return to values instead of validation, to alignment instead of approval, to meaning instead of momentum. And yes, this kind of recalibration can feel uncomfortable. Growth that is honest almost always does. But this discomfort is not a sign to rush into reinvention. It's an invitation to slow down and listen more carefully. Let's return to the idea of recalibration. When something is recalibrated, it isn't thrown away. It isn't erased. It isn't judged for being wrong. It's adjusted so it can function more accurately. Midlife does the same thing. It doesn't ask you to discard everything you've built. It asks you to align it with who you are now. This is where the wisdom lives, in discernment, in boundaries that come from clarity, not fear, in choices rooted in self-respect instead of obligation. If you feel slower in this season, that's not regression, it's precision. If you feel more selective, that's not shrinking, it's refinement. If you feel less interested in proving yourself, that's not giving up, that's freedom. Midlife isn't dimming your light, it's directing it. As we close, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not unraveling. You are recalibrating. Nothing has gone wrong because you're questioning more. Nothing is broken because your priorities have shifted. This season is not asking you to rush into answers. It's asking you to honor your knowing. You don't need to label this phase yet. You don't need to explain it to anyone else. Just let it be what it is. A quiet, powerful return to yourself. Carry this with you today. Midlife is not a crisis to survive. It's a recalibration that brings you closer to what matters most. And you are doing it exactly right.